If you are on your spiritual journey and on the journey of self-discovery, on a journey of self-expression and finding your own voice, seeing the best ways to express yourself and to explore your gifts and talents, then I suggest all of us that are on that path to stop following trends, being it fashion-wise, being it design or art or content creation. Although on content creation, there's a little nuance to it, which I will talk a little further into the video. So why do I say that if you are exploring yourself, you should stop following trends and buying things out of something being trendy at the moment? Because majority of times you are actually being manipulated to buy it. That's what marketing is. That's what sales are. That's what advertisement is for, is to present something in a way that will make you want it. And there's nothing wrong with it. What is wrong is thinking that if you don't have a certain pair of shoes that everybody's wearing at the moment, or if you don't have a certain style at this moment, that you don't have a piece of technology that is trendy at the moment, then you are not cool, or that you are out of place. And well, right now we can see that there are a lot of different niches, there is a lot of different trends per se, right? There are some that are more mainstream, that are others that are more niche, and there are trends within those niches. And we can see that with fashion, there are specific like items of clothing or ways to wear something that might be more mainstream and others that might be more niche directed. And being it niche or mainstream, a trend will be a well commercialized product. It has succeeded in selling to a lot of people to the point of becoming a trend. And for you to follow it, it means that you were also coerced to buy it or to wear it because everybody's wearing it or because it looks cool on these models and things like that. But what you don't know or what you are not realizing is that you are choosing something based on a group of people and based on a momentary desire without actually looking into, is this something that I would keep for years to come, or is this something that defines my personality at this moment? Many times you might think it does, but majority of times it actually sold you an idea of this is actually something that could bring something interesting into you or make you more interesting, whilst your personality and the way that you style a piece of clothing is actually what makes you interesting. It's like that saying goes, money cannot buy you style. You might have all the money in the world to buy all kinds of clothing, but or money doesn't buy you taste. You can buy everything there is, but we can see in many cases where these people that have a lot of money, they don't have a particularly good taste. And many of the times, especially with celebrities, we see that they are actually just wearing clothing that is trendy, or that is a piece of clothing that was given to them by a certain company to make it trendy, to make it something sellable, whilst it doesn't even represent the personality of a person, or it doesn't really show much about that person. And many times that's the reality. Many times a person might be wearing a whole bunch of expensive stuff or trendy stuff to hide the fact that they are not really that interesting, or that they haven't really explored their individuality, so they just follow trends and they are always buying clothing just to look interesting, whilst sometimes it's just not the case. They might look interesting, but the more you look and the more you talk to them, the less interesting it looks. It's like when you see a girl that people would say she's a 10 out of 10, she looks awesome, but then she starts talking shit out of her mouth. She's a psychopath. All the charm that was there went away with a few words. It went away with a few conversations or with a few interactions. You see that maybe they have just a shitty personality that they are hiding with the trendy and expensive clothing. So once again, I wanted to talk about this because if you want to develop your own sense of style, and if you want to develop your own creativity and creative personality, and also just express yourself better and know how to translate yourself better, as well as explore yourself, because majority of times, just people are not interesting because they haven't explored anything about themselves. So they stay superficial, or they stay too much into their asshole where they think they are all this, all that, but then in reality, all they think about is money, or all they think about is something that is not really that profound, or is not really that multifaceted like life is, or like any individual is, or should be, because any person can be interesting if they explore themselves enough, because everybody has their own unique experience to teach others and to teach themselves and to explore. And following trends is just a lazy way to go about expressing yourself, because in reality you're just following someone else's style or someone else's marketing, which is even worse. And you haven't really saw, is this something that will represent me? Or is there something to represent within me? You know, you want to explore yourself and see what you like and style it well. You might just have like a plain t-shirt. And I'm talking about style right now, but it comes to many other ways to go about things. But with clothing, you can have just one t-shirt, and just the way you put it on, and the way you style your hair, and I don't know, the earrings that you put on, the way that you just make your pants flip like this and flip like that, and it's just something different that only you have done, for example. And you have become the trendsetter instead of a follower, a trend follower. Because majority of times, again, trends are created by marketing campaigns. And they are created by analytic groups that give a paper to majority of fashion designers or fashion companies. Look, this is what we predict that will be popular on the next year, on the next season. And many of the companies, many of the designers just create something with those colors, with the shapes that they think will be that the analytical group told them will be trendy, and they happen to make a trend out of it because everybody's creating that. But if you want to be a unique individual and explore yourself and explore how to express yourself better in the world and be a unique individual that is a trendsetter, you have to start consuming slower and actually styling yourself properly and learning how to style yourself properly. Because you don't want to go the lazy route, you want to go the smart route, your own route. You want to go your own way, because that's the only way in reality. If you don't go your own way, somebody will give you a way, and that's trends. That is all these marketing campaigns that work on TikTok and all the other social media and television. And you want to be a trendsetter by creating your own style and embodying it so well that others see it as something that they would like to try, because they see a part of themselves in that. So make sure to keep yourself always in tonus by creating your own style, by exploring your style, by styling yourself and challenging yourself to style yourself with maybe the limited pieces of clothing that you have, the limited pieces of accessories that you have, and managing it in a way that will define who you are to other people. Again, there is a video that I made, Appearances Matter More Than You Think. I will link it down below, because they actually do, and this is part of it. People will look at you, their first impressions will be the way you dress, the way you smell, the way you behave yourself, the way you smile, the way your skin looks, the way, again, you dress and all that. And then they discover your deeper world. But first is the appearance. And the appearance is you that styles it. And it's you that, the more you develop it, the more you look into it, the more you will be able to reflect your inner world to the outside, or sometimes hide it so certain people don't see it, or certain people get a harder way to access it, because not everybody needs to see your internal world, especially not in a public setting where you don't want certain people to approach you, for example, right? So learning how to do that is part of styling, and following a trend will just mix the waters, and you might even get more lazy with how you dress and with how you look, and not understand why certain people approach you, whilst there is a real reason. And it's psychological as well. People see you by the colors and by the way that you dress, by the way that you move in that dress, and they might want to approach you or not. And you have a upper hand in that if you decide to take the step into styling yourself, no matter the trends, no matter how others are, whatever others are wearing, you are wearing the way that you want to be dressed, and you are confident in that. Okay? And I also wanted to touch on how, for example, following trends on the internet, like making a certain like styled TikToks or making certain styled videos. There are topics that only you can discuss, right? How I became a good at art was a video that I made, for example. There are many other videos that are the same thing, and maybe it was a trend, I don't know, I just did it because I wanted. But imagine if I did it because everybody was talking about it, and I was like, this is getting a lot of traction, and I actually have something to share about this, so let me talk about it. That type of trend can actually be beneficial because people are looking into that because it's a trend, but everybody has their own opinion about it and their own vision about it, so it can be good. But there are other trends which are just like putting your ass pubes on fire and drinking vodka and putting vodka on your ass. You know, that's some stupid shit that can even be detrimental, and that can actually lead people to hospitals or even worse. So there are trends that simply shouldn't even be trends, or they shouldn't even be followed like that, right? There are trends that can be followed and that are interesting, but majority of times you don't want to be following trends, you want to be a trendsetter. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, what is your opinion about this topic? Obviously, this is my opinion, this is what I think. I don't like following trends, and I think it would be best for every one of us to create our own trends and create our own ways to go about things, and maybe there is a trend that actually resonates with a lot of people, and not every trend is bad. Like there are a lot of trends that actually every person wears it their own way, but majority of times it's really just seasonal, and there are things that just don't last. There's like a jacket that everybody bought, and now it's like nobody wears that shit. So why did you buy it in the first place if this is not something that can last you for a long time because you have a mature, developed identity and individuality, right? So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Let me know in the comments what you think about this topic, and make sure to check out my Instagram for my paintings, my sculptures, my clothing design, earrings, all of that. Make sure to check it out and get something from me if you want. And I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.